Okay, many of you have purchased our via DNA frequency systems and are waiting on your test results. And I say go ahead and get started on certain ones that we know for a fact based on reports from a couple of practitioners that we recommend. Everyone on their first test results have some of the same pathogens as everyone else. So it's almost like you can just predict, and this is years and years of me sending folks to these two different practitioners. And so I'm going to set up the first video here is going to be one set of pathogens that I'm going to recommend in a 4.5 hour program that we're going to save as a preset. And the next video I'm going to do in a couple days from now is going to be the other set. So basically 2 programs that you can run without even having your test results, without even running biofeedback. You can just guarantee you're going to have these. Okay, so I'm going to show you one of them here. The first one is, sorry, here's the list. Probably not that clear. Anyway, the first one is Staph Aureus Sapro, which, sorry about that. It's a custom program. I'm going to teach you how to set up that custom program. Aflatoxin is the second one. Aspergillus flavus causes aflatoxin, which is from peanut mold. And also in rice, if you leave rice in the same container and you just continue using the same container without cleaning it out, you've got aflatoxin. The fourth one is botulism. Very common. If you've ever had food poisoning ever in your life, you've got botulism. Or if you haven't even had food poisoning but just eaten the wrong food. Clostridium difficile, Clostridium infections, and Clostridium perfringens spores. Those are what they call superbugs, and you can't even kill it with antibiotics, so they're really nasty. So people are riddled with this in their bodies, and doctors aren't checking these things. Okay, Ascaris lumbricoides, I'm probably not pronouncing it right, all stages. That's roundworms. So if you've ever been around dogs ever in your life, that's people have roundworms there in all stages. Okay, Giardia is the most common protozoa, which are the microscopic type parasites. And that Giardia you can get from the tap water. And I forgot to tell you the top one, Staph Aureus / Sapro. That's everyone's riddled with staph, and they get it just walking into a hospital. It's not uncommon if you go visit a friend in the hospital, or if you go yourself 2 or 3 times a year, your staph score jumps up from like 30,000 to 50,000 score just in 1 year's time. So you really got to keep at it on staph. Everybody, even when you're born, coming out of the womb, you're in a hospital, you got staph. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is create a custom program. Here's my list. Hope you can see it here. Probably the lighting is not very good. Okay, Staph Aureus and Staph saprophyticus, probably not pronouncing it correct. Here are the frequencies, and I'm going to train you how to just produce a preset for this. So we're going to take it one step at a time. First thing you want to do is go up to File, Create Program. Okay. Those of you that are already our clients, we already include certain custom programs. We already uploaded into your Spooky 2 software so that you don't have to create these on your own. But these are folks that haven't put it together yet. Okay, so here we go. We're going to call it Staph. Aureus. Staph. And this is a kind of tricky spelling. Saprophyticus. And I'm going to put in here, I'm going to add 48 minutes because that's how long the program is. The reason why you want to put 48 minutes up here in the title is because once you go and save it as a preset, as a program right there, it doesn't tell you automatically the minutes. Custom programs don't show you the minutes, so it's really helpful to know how many minutes it is. Okay, down here in frequencies, we're obviously going to start inputting these one at a time. Okay, so we're going to start with, here we go, 647. And then you put a comma. You can put a space or not. Even if you put spaces between each one of these, at the end it's going to default to no spaces. So I'm trying to find a way to do this to where you can see it while I'm putting it in. Okay, I'm going to use my left hand to put it in. Okay, so we have the first number, 647, comma. The next number is 727, comma. 728, comma. 786, comma, and then 786.5, comma. Oh, sorry, I put a comma in there instead of a point. Okay, 0.5. 786.5, okay, comma. 875. 75, comma, 876, comma, 877, 878, 879, 880, 881, 882. There's another way to put these in when they're consecutive like this, but I'm just trying to keep it simple for now here. Okay, 882, 883, 884, 885. Okay, so there you go. Again, some of these have spaces in between them and some of them don't. It doesn't matter. As soon as I click over here, as you can see, it takes out all the spaces. Okay. Now we're looking at dwell. Oh, by the way, the reason we have custom program for the Staph Aureus, Staph Aureus is because the ones in the Spooky Chew software we've seen before and after tests with running these exact frequencies, the staph is reduced significantly. Okay. All right. Now in dwell over here, we want to put 180, and what 180 means is just 180 seconds is equal 3 minutes. You want each one of these to run 3 minutes and then move on. Okay, so we're going to, right in here it has 3600. I'm going to change it to 180. The default is 180, so you may not have to change anything here. And then I'm going to give credit to Dr. Richard Lloyd, so I'm going to put Dr. Richard Lloyd, best frequencies for reducing Staph Aureus and Staph Aureus. Okay, and then next thing we're going to do is save it. You see up here in the, hope you can see it. I'll move it a little bit. Okay, right up here. Save. And it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to save it? Say yes. There you go. Okay, now what we're going to do, now that that's in there, I'm going to help you put together a program set and save it in presets. And then that way you can run it. The rule of thumb is you want it to be around 4-hour program or 4.5-hour program, which is what this is. Estimated total duration time is 4 hours 32 minutes. The reason you do that, you want it to repeat approximately 6 times a day. And if you're running it remote mode, you can just let it run for 2 or 3 months at a time, okay? All right, so let's put the first one in and make sure you have a clean slate here. So if there's something in this section, just hit the red X, okay? So for example, if that's in there, you just hit the red X. You want to operate with nothing in here. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to type in most unusual word, and that's Sapro. So there's the custom program. There it is right there. Staph Aureus. Okay, so you're going to double click on it, and it's going to show up down here in loaded programs. Come back in to the search bar, backspace it out. The second one I'm going to put in is aflatoxin. Oops. A-F-L-A-T-O-X-I-N. Okay, there's several of them. I would choose CAFL. I've heard that CAFL is the best ones, and proof before and after tests. A lot of people ask, why don't you just do biofeedback? And my business partner and I used to use the biofeedback. However, you really don't know what you're running, and it'll come back with a bunch of numbers, but you really don't know what it is. So this takes the mystery out of it. We're just going to tell you these are everybody's got these aflatoxin, staph, we just know these are there. Okay, I'm going to double click on that one. It's 18 minutes. I'm going to come back up here. Aflatoxin is caused by Aspergillus flavus. I'm just going to put the first letter, it's so much easier. Okay, there's a 15-minute program, CAFL, C-A-F-L. Double click on that, and this is interesting. Aflatoxin, I never double clicked on it. I'm going to put aflatoxin in there again because I didn't double click on it. Okay, there's the program. I'm going to double click. Okay, so see down here, it puts it. All right, and the next one is botulinum. It's, I just put the first few letters, B-O-T-U-L-I-N. Now, if you put botulism, it's the same thing, but botulinum is another word. Okay, so I'm going to choose a 21-minute, again, the CAFL. Double click there. See how it shows up down here. All right, then you go up to the search bar, backspace it out again. By the way, if you hit the red X to clear out the search bar, it just takes longer for some reason. The whole thing reboots. I just like to backspace it out. It's much quicker. Okay, then the next one is Clostridium difficile. I'm just going to put difficile because it's the most unusual word there. D-I-F-F-I-C-I-L-E is what I put in the search bar, and that if you put Clostridium, a whole ton of them are going to show up. So I always try, just like when you Google search something, you put the most unusual word and get right to it. Okay, so I'm going to double click on that, Clostridium difficile. And the next one is Clostridium infections, C-L-O-S-T-R-I-D-I-U-M. And I'm going to put the first letter I, Clostridium infections. The first one, I like the KHZ programs better than the ETDFs. I've seen them, they work more effectively. Double click on that one. The next one is perfringens. That's Clostridium perfringens. That's actually gangrene. You'd be surprised. We've got gangrene sitting in our bodies. And again, I'm going to choose the most unusual word is perfringens. I just needed to put a few letters. There it is, Clostridium perfringens spores. There's 15 minutes. Double click on it. There it is down here. Then we're going to put a couple of parasites in here. Ascaris lumbricoides is the most common worms that humans have. Okay, so I'm gonna put Ascaris. I'm probably not pronouncing it right. I'm putting Ascaris and then a space and then an L. And there it is. All stages. This kills the eggs as well as the adults. So double click there. Come back up to the space. You see how I placed it down here? Come back up to the search bar and Giardia. Now there's tons of Giardia in here. So I'm always looking for the CAFL, C-A-F-L. And there's one for 28 minutes. So you can double click on that. So, all right, what am I missing here? I'm missing, let's see here. 3 hours, that's 3 hours, 42 minutes. And let me see here, let me look at which, see, I've got the infections. I'm looking at it, something's missing because it's supposed to be a 4 hour, 32 minute. Botulinum, CAFL, Giardia. Okay, well, we'll go with that. 3 hours, 42 minutes. That's actually really good. All right, now it's time to determine what settings you'd like to run, and we always like to do the harmonics. You can look up Holland harmonics, why this works good. With our equipment up here in amplitude, I'm going to put 6 volts because we use the high-powered remote that holds blood instead of fingernails. And if you run 13, 17 volts right away, it's going to be too much for your body. It's going to kill it off way too fast. So we're going to start at 6 volts. I'm going to have to put another video together to kind of explain why we do it this way. Okay, and then my business partner and husband always says, when you're doing killing, do the triangle. Frequency wobble, triangle. By the way, amplitude up here, I think the default is 10. I'm not really sure, but the way you do it is you place your cursor just to the right of that number, backspace, and then put the 6. Same thing there, both outputs. Okay, back to this. The frequency wobble, drop down box, choose a triangle, and then again, my husband says just add 0.023 right there, percent, and make it 11 steps. Also, he suggests square wave on both outputs. And then we're going to run the Holland harmonics. Once you click on this one, which is the square wave right here, it'll open up the ability to use the output shadowing feature. And then basically you're going to make this an 11. So put the cursor just to the right of the 1. Well, actually, it's already got a 1 in there. Just add a 1. 11th harmonic. 11th harmonic, okay? Now what we want to do is we want to save it as a preset. To do that, you can see the middle column is exactly the list of pathogens that you selected. So the save button is right in between these 2 columns, right in the middle. It looks like a disc. You single left click on it, and then you can name it. So I'm just going to put program 1, and it is 3 hours. I'll put this in parentheses. 3 hours, approximately 3 hours, 30 minutes. And then you know what I ask a lot of people to do is put the date. So for example, I'm going to put 03 for March 19 for the date today, and then the year is 20. You can put any kind of date. You can spell it out. if you want. Okay, and then hit save. Okay, so there you are. There it is over here on the left side. You can single left click on it. It turns this, highlights this one. Go to settings, you can double check all these numbers here, and it's saved to settings as well. Now you can go to control, and if you want to get it started, just ignore all these red boxes. I'm using a mock program on my laptop to demonstrate. You're only going to see some people only have 2 generators, so you may only see 2 of them here, and it's going to be like 3, 4, and 5, or 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's probably not going to be 1, 2, and 3, but this is just to give you an idea. So as soon as you hit control, you have to, let's say you want to get this program started, you have to check allow generator overrides. The newest ones just say generator override. As soon as you check that, you can select the first pink box that represents the generator, a generator. As you can see, here's the name of it at the top right here, and then actually I called it 3 hours 30 minutes, but it really is 3 hours 42 minutes. Here, estimated total run time, 3 hours 42 minutes. And here's the list. Okay, and you just hit start. Okay, that's it. And this is Lorraine, Accessing Health. If you want to look up our website, it's accessing-health.com. So there's a dash or a hyphen between accessing and health. Okay, God bless you.